Hello students, welcome back to the bio classes. Children, in the last video, I have discussed about the human digestive system, in which you have read about how the different types of food particle that you eat, that is broken down into simplest forms, and then it is taken up by the different cells of the body and to obtain the different metabolic nutrients, so that finally the different metabolic activities of the cells can be carried out. Now children, there are organisms you have read in cell chapter. Some are unicellular, some are few celled, and some are multicellular. Whatever is the case, all the organisms, they require some energy to carry out their functional activities. Whatever functions we carry out or whatever internal activities are going on in our body, like digestion, like blood circulation, or any other cellular activities, that requires some energy. So where from we get this energy? This energy is obtained by the carbohydrate that you eat. And in this digestive system, you have read that carbohydrates are ultimately broken down into glucose to be absorbed by the cells. So this energy we obtain from the glucose. When glucose breaks down, it gives us energy. Now, in order to carry out this function, there are a group of organs, and all those organs that together work with unison, or in what you can say, they help each other. The organs, they together in a unified manner, they work to carry out the process of respiration, and all those organs, they together form the respiratory system. So children, your chapter 4 is human body respiratory system. Now in your textbook you can see, first it is given introduction. That means all the living organisms require energy, and this energy, from where does it get? It gets from glucose. So if we go into the process of respiration, what can we say children? What is respiration? Then we can say that respiration is the process of breakdown of glucose to release energy. So what is respiration? It is the process of breakdown of glucose to release energy. Now, normally children confuse between respiration and breathing. There is a term called breathing. What is that breathing? Breathing is simply inhaling and exhaling of air. Inhaling and exhaling of air. The air we take in is called inhaling. The air we breathe out is called exhaling. The simple inhaling and exhaling is called breathing. But by inhaling, the air which we take inside, that contains more amount of oxygen, and that oxygen, it is required for the breakdown of glucose. So we can say that in the process of respiration, the first step is breathing, isn't it? So the process of respiration first involves breathing. Then after breathing, when we take the air inside, this air leads to the process of actual breakdown of glucose. So here we will get the process of respiration, that is breakdown of glucose. I hope now it is clear to you. So, for the process of respiration, the first step is always breathing. We have to inhale air, then that air will help in respiration. Okay. Now, you see in your book, children, difference between breathing and respiration. That is very, very important. What are the points given here? You can see here two terms. One is given external respiration, another one cellular or internal respiration, children. This breathing is also called external respiration. Here what happens? Only externally we are taking in air and giving out air. Actual respiration, this one, it is called cellular respiration. Why cellular respiration? Because breakdown of glucose takes place in the cells. So it is called cellular respiration. And what happens in respiration? As I said, glucose plus oxygen. In the presence of oxygen, it will break down into what? Carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. Now, where from this energy has come? This energy has come from this glucose. So, we can say that this glucose, it is a, what is this? It is a power bank. It is a power bank. Glucose is a power bank of energy. It contains lot of energy in itself. When it will break down, it will release the energy. Now, the next question arises, whatever energy it is formed, immediately all the energy is not utilized by our body. So what happens? That extra energy gets stored in the form of ATP. This we call it as energy coin. Okay, this we call it, you can see here, ATP given in your book. These are the energy coins. So what happens is, whenever, or you can say that it is technically called energy currency. Like whenever you go to the market to purchase anything, you have to pay the currency for that. Like that, whenever our body will require energy, then this stored energy, it will break, ATP will break, and it will release all the energy which is present inside it. Clear? This is the basic step of respiration. Now, breathing and respiration, you can see there are differences given. No energy is obtained by the body. Energy is obtained by the body. It is a mere exchange of gases between the atmosphere and the body. It takes place within the cells of the body. It is a physical process. It is a biochemical process. Clear? Biochemical, bio means living, chemical means there is breakdown of chemical. So biochemical process. Now our next topic is human respiratory system. So now we will see which are the organs that are actually participating in the process of respiration. So see here, children, our human respiratory system, basically it starts with the nose. The first organ is nose. Then from the nose, the air goes to the windpipe, which is called trachea. Then through the trachea, the air, it will enter into two more windpipes, which are called bronchi. Then through the bronchi, it will enter the lungs, and finally there are some air bags through which exchange of gases takes place, which is called alveolus singular, alveoli plural. So what is the pathway for respiration? Nose, trachea, bronchi, lungs and alveoli. Let me draw the diagram, children. This one, first it is the nose, or what is that called? Nasal cavity. Through the nasal cavity, air will enter. Then it passes through this trachea. Clear? This is the windpipe, which is called trachea. Next, after trachea, we have bronchi. So this trachea divides into two pipe-like structures, which are called bronchi. Individual is bronchus, plural is bronchi. Now each bronchi, it will enter into the lungs. We have a pair of lungs. Now the bronchi, it will enter into the lungs. Clear? Now inside this lungs, this bronchi, that will undergo further subdivisions. Just like a network in a root we have in the lungs also, there is subdivision of the bronchi into numerous fine tube-like structures. These are called bronchioles. These are called bronchioles. Finally, at the end of the bronchioles, there are minute, this sac-like structures. These are called alveolus. Alveolus. You can see this diagram in your book. This one is the human respiratory system. You will practice this diagram, children. Then the organs are given. Yes, one more thing is given here. You see, there is a sheet-like structure here, which is called diaphragm. What is this diaphragm, children? Diaphragm, it is a sheet of tissues, and this one contracts, relaxes. Contracts, relaxes. It will move down. When you inhale, it will become straightened like this, so that this gap is there. Lungs will increase in size, more air will enter inside. That is inhalation. When it will move back to its original position, again lungs will reduce in size. The air from your lungs will rush out. Okay, that is about inhaling and exhaling. I will tell you in mechanism of breathing. Now you only know about the structure of the respiratory system. Now see your book, children. Structure and functions of the parts of respiratory system are given here. You will learn from here. First, nose. What is given here? It has two openings called nostrils. Then the air enters through the nasal cavity, and there is a term called pharynx, children. What is that pharynx? Pharynx is a common opening between the food pipe and the windpipe. And through this, the air when it reaches the pharynx, it will enter the windpipe. It will not enter the food pipe. Then there is the trachea, again tube-like structure, which starts from larynx. You can see here in this diagram, children, even though larynx is not given, but at the beginning of the trachea here, we will find the voice box, which is called larynx. So this, when the air passes through the larynx, it has got two membrane-like structures called the vocal cords, which will vibrate, and that vibration produces sound. You are able to talk because of that vibration of the vocal cord. Then we have bronchi. I told you that the trachea is divided into two bronchi, and from the bronchi, through the bronchi, the air passes to the lungs. Now you can see here pleura. What is that pleura? These are the membranes which surround the lungs. So lungs are protected by pleural membranes. Finally, alveoli. These are the air sacs which help in gaseous exchange. So this is the sequence of organs of respiratory system, and functions are given here. You will learn from there. Two more terms you see here, children. Rib cage, diaphragm. I told you. What is the rib cage? It is the structure. It is formed by the ribs. They form a cage-like structure because our lungs, it is a very delicate organ. To protect it from outside injury, it is protected by a total covering which is called rib cage. Now diaphragm, muscular sheet, and it forms the base of the rib cage, and I told you by increasing, the contraction and relaxation of diaphragm, the lung size will increase or decrease. Now we move on to next topic, children. Mechanism of breathing. What happens in the mechanism of breathing is, turn the page, you will understand from this diagram. See here, you can see there two diagrams are given. Inhalation, exhalation. During inhalation, what happens? This diaphragm, see, the normal shape is like this, dome shaped. During inhalation, this will contract and move down. So what happens? The lung size increases. Why? Because if you inhale, you can feel that your rib cage is increasing in size. So diaphragm is also moving down. So that increases the size of the lungs, more air will rush inside. Just the opposite happens in exhalation. When you exhale, the diaphragm moves back to original position, rib cage also returns back, and then what happens? The lungs get squeezed and the air is moved out. That is the principle of inhalation and exhalation, or the mechanism of breathing. Now come to exchange of gases. Exchange of gases happens, or it occurs, that is actually the internal respiration. Here what happens? This alveolus, in the diagram I have shown here, alveolus, this is the enlarged view of alveolus. Through this alveolus, what happens? On these walls, there are so much blood vessels, blood capillaries, very thin vessels of blood. And you know, blood carries the nutrients and transports the respiratory gases. So when the blood vessels passes through these alveolus, then what happens? Inside the alveolus, the amount of oxygen is more. But in the blood vessels, amount of oxygen is less. So what happens? I am enlarging one alveolus and showing you. So from these alveolus, oxygen is more, carbon dioxide is less. And here in the blood capillary, oxygen is less, carbon dioxide is more. So by simple exchange, from here oxygen will enter into the blood vessel, and from the blood vessel carbon dioxide will go out. That is exchange of gases. So by this what happens? This blood which is rich in oxygen, now it will be taken to heart and it will be distributed all over the body. And this one, the air which is rich in carbon dioxide, that will be released out of the body through the nose. That is expiration. Clear? Now cellular respiration. What happens in cellular respiration is that through this blood capillaries, the blood carries the oxygen rich. The blood carries rich, the blood is now rich in oxygen. It will go to the heart, and through the heart it is distributed to all the organs of the body, ultimately to different cells of the body. Now how does blood transport? You know, blood is red in color. Why is it red in color? Due to the presence of pigment called hemoglobin. You know, why is the color of the leaf green, children? Due to the presence of a pigment called chlorophyll. Like that, blood is red in color due to the presence of this pigment hemoglobin. Now, what is the function of this hemoglobin? It will help in transporting oxygen. It transports oxygen. And how does it transport? Hemoglobin plus oxygen, it will form a compound called oxyhemoglobin. Oxyhemoglobin. Now this oxyhemoglobin form, the blood will transport the oxygen, and suppose this is a blood vessel. Here oxyhemoglobin is passing, and when it will reach the cell, this oxyhemoglobin, it will give its oxygen, and from the cell, this blood vessel, it will carry carbon dioxide. This is how oxygen reaches to different cell, and in the cell glucose is present. Now that glucose will break down to release energy, and that is called cellular respiration. Now, with this, the process of respiration is over, children. Now we come to what are the common diseases related to our respiratory system. You will underline these terms, full forms. SPM, suspended particulate matter, means how respiratory problems takes place due to pollution in air, because respiratory gases enter into the lungs. So all the respiratory problems, they are related to air pollution. And which are the air pollutants? Respiratory diseases, air pollutants are carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, suspended particulate, means in the air, dust particle, germs or soot particles, dust particles, all these are called suspended particulate matter. They all will enter our lungs through the air we breathe, and that will cause respiratory diseases. Let's see what are the diseases. Number 1, bronchitis. You have to underline this, infection of the bronchial tubes. Bronchi, I told you. So when there is infection in the bronchus, that is called bronchitis. What are the symptoms of this disease? Here few symptoms are given. You can learn any 4 or first 4. Better you learn first 4 diseases. Prevention and treatment. Children, how will you prevent it? Bronchodilators. Bronchodilators means it will dilate. It will increase the size of our bronchus. That is called bronchodilator. Number 2, what is given? Use of cough syrup. That is the treatment, children. Got it? That is the treatment of what? Bronchitis. Then third one is use of antibiotics. So you can say these 2 points are the treatments. First one is the prevention. Coming to the next one, what other prevention you can take? Drink plenty of fluids. This is a prevention. Wash your hands before and after meals. This is prevention. Okay. That is, to prevent bronchitis, you will follow these steps. Second type, first disease was bronchitis. Most important one. Number 2, pneumonia. Not important actually. It is the most common respiratory disease. Second one is pneumonia. What is pneumonia? It is this is important. It is caused by the bacterium Streptococcus pneumoniae. Children, here there is a term called wheezing. Meaning of wheezing is when you breathe in a noisy manner. Sometimes you might have heard, whenever there is a problem in the respiratory system, there is bronchitis, those people, when they breathe, a typical noise comes out. That is called wheezing. So wheezing means, what is the meaning of wheezing? To breathe noisily. Clear? Now, so in case of this one more here I forgot to tell you. Bronchitis, how it is caused? Mainly by virus. Okay. Other agents are air pollution and bacteria. So in case of pneumonia, the causative agent is bacterium Streptococcus pneumoniae. It is also caused by other bacterial species and viruses. Excuse me. It causes inflammation of the lungs. That bronchitis was inflammation of bronchitis, but pneumonia is inflammation of the lungs. Next, here also symptoms are given. You can learn any 4 symptoms. Phlegm. What is this phlegm? That is the mucus, cough with colored phlegm, with some means by seeing that sometimes blood comes out through the phlegm. Okay, you can learn any 4 symptoms. Here also prevention, vaccination is a prevention, drinking fluids is a prevention, and antibiotic is treatment. Third major respiratory disease is asthma. What happens in asthma? Inflammation of airways for a long period of time. What are the causative agents? This is genetic, means normally it transmits from parents to the offsprings. And environmental factors such as air pollution, there is change in any weather conditions, and allergens. Any allergy if you have to dust or pollen, then also that leads to asthma. What are the symptoms? Here 4 symptoms are given. You can learn that. Prevention, again 2 points are given. That is, avoid triggers, means avoid all those allergens which cause asthma. And second one, bronchodilators, and corticosteroids are the medicines. Okay, you might have seen this one. This is an instrument which is an inhaler that is used for the, inside this there is medicine. This is used for the treatment of asthma. Children, don't confuse between prevention and treatment. Prevention means how you will avoid the disease, how you will avoid the occurrence of the disease. So prevention, to prevent the disease. Treatment, after the disease has occurred, what medicines you will take to cure the disease. Next one, tuberculosis caused by bacterium, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, affects the lungs and spreads by droplet infection. Droplet infection means, like now you might be hearing COVID-19. It is caused by droplet infection. What is the meaning of that? If a person is infected, when that infected person coughs or sneezes, then he or she releases that virus or bacterium into the air. And when another healthy person inhales that air, that person will get the infection. That mode of infection is called droplet infection. Then symptoms, again from here, learn any 4 points of your choice. Prevention and treatment. This BCG vaccination is prevention. Then infected person should avoid careless. This is also prevention, to prevent the occurrence of disease for others. And long course of antibiotics is treatment. Now keywords are given, children. You can learn by heart all these keywords, definitions. Now we will move on to the exercise. See children, choose the correct answer. I think all these you can do yourself. Still then, which of the following is not a part of human respiratory system? You can very well understand. That is, which is not a part? First one is tracheoles. During inhalation, the diaphragm moves where? It moves down. Blood tinct phlegm is a symptom of which disease? It is the phlegm. We have seen here cough with colored phlegm. Then that is the case of blood tinct phlegm. That is pneumonia. Okay. Pneumonia is not given here. So second one will be tuberculosis. Tuberculosis, blood tinct phlegm, yes. Next,